tell me, who would you like to fight more than anyone?
I want to be undisputed, so I will take any fight that leads me that way. There's massive fights. We've got the UK girls, the US girls. Tasha Jonas got a belt. WBC is vacant. We've got McCaskill and Lauren fighting, so it's, yeah, I'll take any fight, to be honest.
Did you think tonight was going to be as dominant as that, Sandy?
I knew what I needed to do, and I knew that's what I needed to do. So I said that's what I was going to do. So yeah, I knew. I felt like that's the way it went, and that's how I planned it going.
Eddie, how important are performances like that for Sandy for her career moving forward, especially kind of getting those big unification fights?
Yeah, I think it's two things really. One is obviously the new team. So, you know, Terry actually made a point in the pre-fight build-up that, this is the best time to fight Sandy Ryan. You can actually try and convince yourself that is the case. And sometimes, by the way, that is true, that when someone joins a new team, you don't know how it's gone out there. She might have hated it. She might have not gelled with her new coach. She might be mentally all over the place. Unfortunately for Terry, it was the opposite. You know, it's worked really, really well for her. So I think that was really impressive. But for me, the most impressive thing was the bounce back after the McCaskill fight, because that was such a sickener. Like, it wasn't even close. And it's like, respect to Jessica, you know, she's been in some great fights, but it was so wide. And you sort of have to ask yourself, like, is it really for me? You know, am I just going to get this kind of luck and it's going to just rob me of my opportunities in big fights? And that's one of the reasons that I wanted her to take this fight, because just a standard defence after that kind of disappointment against a no-name opponent, it's just not really what she should be about after that McCaskill fight. So, you know, we need to thank Terry as well, because she stepped up. They knew it was a tough fight because they've sparred together and they know how good Sandy is as well. But, you know, like Steffi Ball said tonight after the fight, he said, look, you know, you made money tonight, you've won 2 world championships. It's just really about being in big fights. And I think Sandy's in that stage in her career as well. She doesn't want a voluntary defence against someone. You know, I mean, the only voluntary defence that's out there really, for me, is Chantel Cameron, which I think is an incredible fight. And although Sandy didn't mention her name, she did say to me last night, whilst she was eating ice cream, oh, I would love that fight. But, you know, Chantel's looking for massive fights as well. So those kind of fights. And the other fight, which obviously is difficult because it's the same team, is Michaela Meyer, which is a tremendous fight. But, you know, I think really the champions are where it's at. I think realistically, probably Natasha Jonas. I think Natasha she might fancy that fight, you know. And we have no problem, if it's the right opportunity for Sandy, doing it, you know, on Sky, if we have to go over there and challenge, or we'll make a big offer to do it on DAZN. You know, we've got to give her the opportunity to roam free for the belts. But obviously we want to do it. She's a star with Matchroom. We've had her for the debut and with DAZN, and that's where we'd like her fights to be. But if, you know, it was a case of, oh, we're not fighting over there, well, we'll come over there and fight. And that's a big fight. You know, I know she hasn't had a big fight in Derby yet, but sooner it's there. And Natasha Jonas is a big star as well. She's got a big profile, or it's a big fight in Liverpool, you know. And they're the kind of fights that I think she needs really, rather than off the back of that performance. I'm not interested in just a voluntary defence against someone. And she's going to want a load of money anyway. Dad and arguably trainer of the last year or a few years, Grant Smith as well, still City Gym, thriving, great atmosphere tonight, felt like a real big night. And over to you guys for questions for Dalton and Grant.
Dalton, congratulations, talk me through that stunning body shot, mate.
Yeah, I've literally just watched it back. It was you know, sharp, straight to the pit. I thought he was actually going to get up, but you know, I think he like dipped down the second time. I thought, yeah, he doesn't look like he's getting up here. But you know, you've got to respect the Mexicans. You know, they're tough as nails, and yeah, I thought, you know, I expected him to get up, to be fair, but yeah, peach of a shot.
Eddie, similar question that I asked you about Sandy, kind of how important are performances like the one Dalton just put in the career of Dalton Smith moving forward?
so important because, you know, it's our job to hype him up, but only he can deliver. And when he does that, and when he produces performances like that, it's actually easy for me to do my job. There's so much similarity. I know different weights and different journeys, but just the feeling of how Kel was building here to how Dalton's building here as well. You know, Kel obviously made that move and eventually took the lunge to fight against Sean Porter for the world title. And we've got, you know, we're not a million miles away, but just tonight felt much different to the Sam Maxwell fight, and the Sam Maxwell fight felt very different to the Sam O'Mason fight. And you know, after that performance tonight, the next one's going to be even bigger. And then you start opening up the top tier and you go from 5,000 to 7,000 and then to 9,000, and then you're in world championship territory, and then you're thinking about Hillsborough. And, you know, when we went to Sheffield United with Kell Brook, not a lot of people thought we would do 24,000, which we did, but it's such a massive day for the city. Like if he fought Sandor Martin next at Hillsborough, I'd fancy he would do 20,000 plus there, because it's just a historic day. And listen, that fight, you never know. It could be next. You know, I've had Regis Prograis on the phone saying, I'll fight Dalton Smith. I like that fight. That's a great fight. Great name. You know, we've got Hitchens, we've got Matthias, we've got Paro, we've got Jack Cattrall, we've got Prograis, we've got obviously Haney. Like, we've got so many 140 pounders. But for me now, the next fight is just, from now, it's about positioning yourself for a world title, because if we don't get Sandor Martin next, he will have a responsibility as a vacant crown capturer to have 2 mandatory defences. So we will be top 5 with the WBC. Thank you to Maurizio Suleiman for this opportunity. And I believe if we don't get a shot at the world title, we're going to get a final eliminator. And that's a big moment. And we don't have to take the fight that's not right. He's still 16-0. And, you know, there's questions about Adam Azim, and, you know, it's not really the trajectory we're on, but it is the European title, and it's a big fight. So if we wanted to drop down, as I said, levels, and Grant's right, 3 or 4 levels at the moment after that performance, we'll do it because we believe we win that fight, and it's a big money fight, and it's a fight that the country would love to see. But we've got our eyes fixed on not the real version of this, but the next version of this, and he's right there.
Dalton, Grant, Prograis at Hillsborough?
Look, whoever you look at the 140 division, you know, there's some big names. There's going to be some special nights. And I've been a fan of Regis for a long time, you know, so it would be great. But like you said, there's plenty of options there. There's some big fights to be made, and, you know, my main goal is, you know, working towards that Hillsborough Stadium, and whoever it is for a world title, whatever, we'll fight.
There is a fight week this week. I'm sure you're all going to ask him, and the answer is, are you going to take the fight?
Dalton's there this week.
Yeah,
Florian's there, yeah.
Good. Well, Dalton will be there. Dalton can ask a question. In fact, if anyone needs a reporter this week, Dalton Smith's available.
Is Ben going to let me eat show this time?
I know, they banned him from the last show. So, like,
Won't let him in, would they?
No. But, like, I just don't understand. Why don't you just say, look, we're not ready for that level. We're going to pass, and we're going to hopefully meet down the line. That's fine. But don't mess us around, because we've got plans now.
Grant, how happy are you with the journey of Dalton Smith? As you said, just at 16-0, and now just stopped a 4-time world title challenger as well.
Come on, where's your call?
I couldn't be more happy. I'm just lost for words, really, because how happy would anybody's dad be? Like Dalton's just said, I'm not just his dad, I'm his coach, and mine and Dalton's relationship, he's admitted it in force. We love each other to bits, we think world of each other, we're with each other every day, but it's not a father-son relationship. And any coach that has got a father-son relationship with the son ain't gonna get to the top levels in boxing. I don't give a damn what anybody says. So I've had to be, from Dalton being a young age, it's heartbreaking as a dad, because you can't do it for your child to reach the top. But obviously, when he's retired, don't get me close. We're close. We're really close. There's nothing wrong with our relationship, but it's not a proper people, unless you've been in that situation, they don't understand that.
Yeah,
But
it makes up for moments like that.
yeah, exactly. But they can't appreciate the moments me and Dalton have, because they'll never have that with their kids, with their son, daughter. I'm just proud. He knows I'm proud of him. That's all that matters. He knows.
All right, everybody. Have a good week. We'll be thinking of you.